Hey guys, it's Tim here, and today I am going to be reviewing The Man of Steel. And I will be doing two reviews on my channel like most people have been doing, one with spoilers, one without, and this is my first review without spoilers, so it is okay to watch this if you haven't seen the movie yet. Now, I have just seen the movie about 1 hour ago. I didn't get to see it, the midnight release, or on Thursday at Walmart because I've been going through lots of family troubles and things like that. I've been doing that a lot lately, but I finally got to see it today at a pretty weird time, but I saw it, and now I'm going to review it. So, what did I think of The Man of Steel? Well, going into this movie, I was expecting it to be amazing. I thought it would be better than The Dark Knight Rises, which, I don't think it was. Personally, I thought The Dark Knight Rises was amazing. I thought it tied up right next to The Dark Knight. So I don't think The Man of Steel is better than The Dark Knight Rises, but it was definitely up there in that category. And The Man of Steel did take a darker tone, as much as you have guessed from the trailer. And I kind of enjoyed that, just because I think if they're ever going to make a Justice League movie, they should definitely make that whole entire thing dark. But they should have some funny lines, if you know, Green Lantern and The Flash and everything. But I did like what they did with Henry Cavill as Superman. I think he did a great role as Superman. I don't think he was okay, but I think he'll be a lot better as Clark Kent, that kind of persona, because in this movie he was not Clark Kent that much at all. He did not have, this is a little spoiler, trying to help us a little bit, he did not have the glasses, and he was not working at the Daily Planet that much in this movie at all. But, I mean, I guess it's okay, because this is an origin story, and it's only the first in, hopefully, a trilogy, or possibly more, if they're going to make a Justice League. So, this movie was great and everything, and I loved it, but, I mean, it didn't really tie into the Superman mythos. It wasn't like, they did change lots of things up, like you guessed, but, I mean, it was actually stayed pretty close to the main origin. And one thing I did like is what they did with Krypton. Like, you could really know what Krypton was all about. Like, in the very first really old Superman movie, they were on Krypton for like a minute or so. They were in this for almost like the first half an hour or first 15, 20 minutes, and there was lots of action scenes on Krypton. So, I thought the whole thing they did with Krypton and everything was pretty much amazing. And I will not tell you if Krypton blows up or not, because some people thought that would change. Now, besides going on Krypton and everything, the whole Superman thing was pretty, like, when he finally got the suit was pretty amazing. One thing they did change up is, like, the suit, the S obviously stands for hope and everything. Well, like, instead of, like, him finding that suit was basically made for him already by Jor-El, his father, his real father. It was already made for him in sort of, like, I guess, like, the Fortress of Solitude type thing. They kind of make it a little more intense in this movie, the Fortress of Solitude. Hopefully they'll change it up in the sequel. But yeah, once again, it was amazing. And the whole like Superman mythos is like I was talking about, like what they did with basically his origin, like him going into Smallville and everything, was instead of like showing it throughout, they basically just did flashbacks throughout the entire movie, which was amazing because they really gonna show, like, there's lots of things you notice in the flashbacks that you wouldn't really think before, is like lots of troubles. Like, they really made it realistic. Like, you've seen him, like, you can't just use his x-ray vision. You get to see how his powers work. You get to see, like, the negative effects from him first using his powers. And you get to see him, like, realizing that he's meant to be something more than just a human. And once again, they do have the scene where his Smallville father, Jonathan Kent, shows him the spaceship and everything. That's pretty intense. I did love the actor who played Clark Kent at a young age, and I thought the actor who played Clark Kent at a teenage age looked just like the person in Smallville, so I really liked that also. And they did have a similar scene with Smallville where a bus crashed into the water. Most of you probably saw that already on a trailer, so I think it's safe to talk about it. So that was like pretty intense there, and they really just showed him Superman where he uses his powers for good, even though, like, he had all these chances to beat up the bullies who would attack him and everything. He just kept calm and went through it all, and that's also amazing. Now, on to Lois Lane. Now, most people thought Lois Lane would be that good because she didn't really look like a Lois Lane from the comic book series with her hair and everything, but I thought she played Lois Lane perfectly. But usually I don't care about romances in comic books at all. Like, I really don't care who the whole Flash's love life is, but I honestly do care a little bit about Superman and Lois Lane, because I feel like their relationship is actually important in comics. I feel like it's the only relationship that, not the only one, but one of the most important ones that actually means something. Like, they made a live-action TV show called Superman and Lois. Like, it's actually, the Lois Lane and Clark Kent relationship is a huge thing in comics. So, I mean, yes, obviously they had a relationship in this, but I don't really like it that much, because Lois Lane didn't really fall in love with Clark Kent like she supposed to. Spoiler, a little bit of spoiler, not that big of a deal. She sort of fell in love with Superman. She sort of fell in love with the person that would carry her away and save her life. She didn't really fall in love with that dorky Daily Planet guy and then realized that he's Superman to have a win-win situation. She sort of just fell in love with him. Like, I feel like it was just like, it was like not really a real relationship. So hopefully they build that up in the sequel, but really they can't. They kind of blew it already, but it's okay because it's just a relationship. It's not that big of a deal. Another thing to talk about is the actual movie, like the fight scenes. Going to this movie, I didn't think there was going to be that much action. Obviously, the Superman movies, there's going to be action, but there was one hell of a lot of action scenes, and it was amazing, guys. Like, when Superman and General Zod would use their laser vision, it was like, holy shit. They really did a good job on it. I mean, it's like, everything's perfect. Like, one power he didn't use, though, was his breath, which kind of like freezes water. I really don't know how that makes sense that much, so hopefully they'll use that more. But, like, he's still getting used to his powers. Like, he flied for the first time when he was like, I guess he was like 33, like just when he was becoming Superman. So like, really his powers and everything and all the action scenes were made perfectly, especially the final scene, the final boss was amazing. I'll talk about that in my spoiler review, and it was awesome, especially like the battle scene on Krypton, like the lasers, everything was perfect, the dragons, like it was like, oh my god, this is like finally a great Superman movie with great action. So I'm really hoping they can make a sequel, guys. And that's one more thing I wanted to talk about is you really got to love this movie, guys. I mean, even if you didn't have that good thoughts on it, if you want to see a DC universe, like live, movies and everything, you gotta like this movie. If this gets enough popularity, we'll see a sequel. When we see a sequel, we'll see Batman, we'll see Flash movies, and we'll eventually build up to a Justice League movie. And if guys are going to keep on giving these bad reviews, then you can just wish your luck away, because we're not going to see a Justice League movie. You guys don't start liking this. So, although I thought this was a great movie, I don't think it was perfection, but I'm going to not lie, I'm going to say it was pretty much up there in perfection, just because I really want to see a sequel. I really think this has potential. I mean, just like Batman Begins, this is sort of like it is. It's like Batman Begins wasn't that good, then they make The Dark Knight, which was one of the best movies I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, maybe this could be just like Superman. Maybe the Superman Man of Steel isn't that good, then they make a sequel, which is amazing. Like, that's like, you really got to give it hope. So, I'm definitely, guys, we're going to see a sequel. I don't know when, but I just hope we can see some other Superman related movies, like, And I'll talk about all the Easter eggs. There's almost like 4 or 5 of them, I think. At least I noticed, and I looked on the internet, and there's pretty cool Easter eggs. I mean, not that noticeable, but if you really look, you can see some good Easter eggs. But you'll see that in my spoiler review, which should be up only like a few hours or minutes after this one. So, one more thing to talk about is General Zod, obviously the main villain. So obviously what happens, guys, isn't really big of a spoiler. General Zod, the ship, and all his members get sucked into the Phantom Zone. But I'm not going to tell you how they got out or anything, but obviously they did. But General Zod, I think he was an amazing actor. I don't know exactly who plays him, but he was perfect. I love General Zod 100% during this entire movie, guys. And it was just like, it blew my mind. He's such a great actor and everything. I mean, there's a few things I wanted them to do with General Zod, which they didn't. But there's this one scene I talk about in my spoiler review, which they definitely should have said a certain line, but they totally fucked up. But it's okay. I think J. Roar is the one that said it. He wanted to say it or something. But any guys, General Zod, and Clark Kent or Superman, like when they meet and when they fight, it's amazing. I love General Zod. I love the suit. I love how they explain the powers and him like realizing like, oh my god, powers, I can't handle them. Like Superman, like he was a young age. He had all these years to build up to getting used to having all these powers, and General Zod was like hit with it right away, and that really affected him during the battle. But he got used to it pretty soon because he is a warrior, guys. And that comes to a close for my Superman review, guys. I hope you check out my channel so you can see my spoiler review after you watch the movie, guys. Trust me, you don't want to be spoiled. Guys, I hate to put up a spoiler review, like, almost a few days after the movie, because I hate when people watch it and then get spoiled, because that just sucks. But whatever, that's your choice if you want to watch it or not. But I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Don't forget to click that like button down below for more comic book news, guys, movie reviews, TV shows reviews. And also follow me on Twitter. You can tweet me there about Man of Steel, guys. And check out my channel for giveaways and everything like that. So hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Sorry. And have a nice day.